my takeaway from that has always been, and I've always shared this with our followers in every position sorry, let me repeat that, Ted. Here's my takeaway from that journey. Stand by. We might have to redo this because I think the cat's walking behind the shot. Yep, cat definitely walked behind the shot.
Well, then you definitely should keep that.
Yeah. Well, you can put that on the blooper reels. Look at my eye.
I'm trying to record a podcast, and this guy has
Hi, Junior.
into my chair. Hi, Junior. The Velcro Visa, your podcast guest. Can you not be in the podcast today? Nope.
He doesn't care.
This is another good bit of advice, but she said, you know what, you're on the wrong train, you've got a ticket, the issue is the further you go, the more expensive it is to come home. And I was like, wow, so what you do is you just stop the train and you get off. And I was like, I'm stopping here, I need to think, yeah, I'm off.
Yes! I mean, that's your community. Okay. That's your girl going, yes. Like,
yeah, I have so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Allie. We're both so excited we can't keep our mouth shut, so I'm talking over you. I'm sorry. I can't even get my words for this, and I'm supposed to have a word.
It's insane.
But
it's overflowing, and sometimes
it's overflowing.
To the point where
it's fulfilling.
Yes.
Yes, we made it to episode 10 here at the L3 podcast, and it's because of you. Because you've been with us every step of the way. You've allowed us to be vulnerable and learn how to create a podcast, which we've never done before. You've allowed us to laugh and be joyful, and you celebrate the bloopers with us today. And you've been inspired and you've been touched by the stories that we're about to share with you, the highlights from these first 10 episodes. May they empower you, may they enlighten you, may they inspire you and give you the tools to live a personal and professional life that you're proud of. Enjoy the moments today. We'll see you next week on the L3 podcast. And until then, lead boldly, love deeply, and live your legacy. Well, there was a pivotal moment that none of us will forget. And we were literally standing in the middle of the arena floor, looking up at all of the empty seating the arena was empty that day. And we were looking at all the empty seating. We were studying rigging in the ceiling and traffic flow and where the doorways are and how it would really work to run a large scale event there and what the acoustics were, all the stuff. And Ev looked at me and goes, man, imagine if we could sell this place out. And I just went, give us a couple of years. And that's exactly what happened. Now, not only did we do that in a couple of years, we've outgrown that venue. So now we're just at Wembley and we sold that out too. So, I mean,
and I was terrified to do it, but then when I did it, it wasn't as bad. So it was okay for that one. But
so basically they put this stuff on your eye, let it form a mold.
Yeah. They made a mold on kind of day one, and then they started painting. They kind of buff and polish a little bit. And then the next day they come in and they start with the pupil, I think, if I'm remembering right. And they start with the pupil in this it's like a little gray disc where they start painting the colored part of your eye, the iris. And it is literally like the artist's paintbrush on the little tablet of all the colors, and they kind of mix and match, and they look at your real eye and compare it to the prosthesis that they're painting, and they paint a gazillion layers of colors that don't even look like they're going to make any sense. And then kind of that last day, they're doing the refining and the polishing, and they make the red veins that are on the white part of your eye. They make those red veins with red thread that they shred with they shred it. It's ridiculously cool.
That was the craziest.
Yes. It's not paint. The red part on the veins on your white of the eye
look like
is
little blood
red.
vessels. Yeah.
Can you see it? Let me show you, because I want to hang on, okay. So if I'm trying to get the one the most red. If I back up, can you see any red, or can you see the letter S?
Maybe, probably, potentially.
I don't know if you can't. Anyway, there's a letter S like up here somewhere. Yeah. So that is all the red. It's made with thread, but then they put a little S my ocularist does this, puts a little S, that's his initial, to show the top, that's the top. So you can know that, and it never shows in my eye itself because that's kind of behind my eyelids, so you don't ever see it. But if the doctor, the ocularist, not doctor, their ocularist is a different skill set, but if the ocularist takes the eye out, he buffs and polishes it, needs to put it back in and do the fitting, and then it's really easy to tell. Or now I am not one to take the eye out. So everyone wants to know, do you take your eye out at night? Absolutely not. I'm afraid of it. So many people will get on the internet and they'll go like, here, look at my eye. I am not that. I am not. No.
Why? Because you're worried it's going to hurt, or you're worried it's not going to go back in straight?
Well, I'm both. I'm very fortunate that my prosthesis fits so well that
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Correct. So one, I don't want to be tugging on my eye socket, number one. And I think that's a real reason why I got the first prosthesis to last 10 years versus the average 5-7 years.
I think the key thing to remember here is that as humans, we regularly and habitually underestimate the level of greatness, not only that we're capable of, but that we deserve and desire for our own lives and for the lives of those around us. And the conversation of how do we not just overcome circumstances, or how do we not fall victim to our circumstances, always has to be grounded in an actual process of how we purposefully address that. And obviously the first step to that is recognizing that it's there and figuring out, okay, there's circumstances in my life, like you said, I didn't get the job, or the marriage didn't work out, or the financial situation isn't what I want it to be, or my health situation isn't what I want it to be. All of these things are challenges and obstacles in our lives. But we can't let that be the stopping point. That has to be the starting point.
And I'm not just talking about moving in the example that you gave, but what do you say to the person that is afraid of change, or even just resistant to change because where we are now is kind of comfortable?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that I would say is that I am where I am now and able to handle change and adapt with and navigate change much easier now because I've had a lot of practice. I've had more practice than the average person because with my visual impairment, if you haven't seen the podcast before, I'm quite severely visually impaired. And existing as a disabled woman, you are facing change all the time. So anytime I go to a new restaurant, I'll get on Google Maps to go find out what the front door looks like so I can get there when I get in the restaurant or get dropped off. And then I'll look at interior pictures of the place I'm going to find where the ladies' restroom is so I can be as independent as I can.
Hey, this isn't right. Like, something's going on in here. Pay attention. And that's really how we started to figure out, not only is there a real problem, but it's going to be pretty difficult to fix. And obviously it wasn't possible to fix.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah,
you're
right.
Andrea, at that point, you really were at that point where you knew your eye wasn't functioning. Your brain was definitely telling you that and showing you that. Then you got to the point where the pain was just overwhelming. Physical pain was overwhelming. And so was the fear that you were talking about. And at some point, you had to have that pivotal moment that said, I have to face that scary stuff of having my eyeball removed, getting a prosthesis, so that I can move away from the pain that it is to stay here.
Yes.
So you had to jump into that fear. It took a lot of courage to jump in to everything that was scary and unknown and all of the valid, scary stuff that you had. That had to be more powerful for you than the pain of where you were living at the time. And that was the moment you said, let's go, let's have this surgery. And for me watching you, that was really It was really moving. It was really powerful. It was really inspirational. It was also, I have to say, for me, it was a relief, because I knew how much pain you were in. And I knew that what you were about to go through, like from the short-term surgery part, was going to be some of the most physical pain you've experienced in your life. But I knew that beyond that scary stuff, you having the courage to at least go there and take that step forward, that was going to take you somewhere. And even though we didn't know exactly where it was going to end up, we faithfully knew that we could step forward. And maybe you didn't have that eyesight, but you had the vision of what was next. And being visionary took that courage. And so it was something I always celebrate in you. And it's easy to do that now looking back, but it's something I always celebrate in you, because that was such a scary time. But you made the decision of what was right for you, when it was right for you. And the most incredible miracle of medicine happens. And I mean, you're literally on a podcast right now holding up your eyeball.
I'm talking about the eye. Who does
you
that?
have a name for it.
Yeah, and for me as well, whether or not people want to hear it, parents don't help all the time.
Correct.
You do get parents that like to live through their kids, essentially, which is fine. You do that, but you still have to let your kids live their dream for them as well. And again, when you see trophy after trophy after trophy, or summit win, summit win, summit win, summit win, anything like that, of course it's appealing. That is it. You would be crazy for it not to be appealing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right for you if you move over to other gyms or whatever. And I've never had an issue with athletes leaving and going to see if they can find what they need somewhere else. The side of it I
want to talk to coaches about that, youth sports coaches, cheerleading coaches, employers. If someone under your care, under your leadership, decides to go to another location for whatever reason, it's almost never about you. It's about where their needs are.
It's just my favourite place to be, because these women are all coming together and just have these ideas. They have children. A lot of them are working in schools. Like they're there. They're living it. A totally different mix of backgrounds. And from that, we then started to build community projects, which is amazing. It's where what I love now is that the Cheerleading All Stars has built to this amazing level, and I've learned how to delegate really well. And what we do is we actually all stay in our zone of genius, basically. So my zone of genius is the kind of magician and the strategic planner and the visionary founder to go and be like, right, let's build this, let's do this, let's make this impact.
If the Lead Love Legacy podcast inspires you, don't forget to like and subscribe at YouTube or wherever you watch your podcasts, and share it with your friends.
Thanks for joining us today on the Lead Love Legacy podcast.
Remember, lead boldly, love deeply, and live your legacy.
If this episode encouraged you, like and subscribe and share it with someone who needs it.
And join us next time as we continue to build leaders and legacies for life.